Hi, we are here with Brinke Stevens at Galaxy Theaters. So, you gotta speak a little louder.
Hi, I'm Brinke. How do you do?
So, how do you like it here in Riverbank?
Well, I've never been to these theaters before. I think this is my fourth time at the ShockerFest Film Festival, and it's a whole new venue for me.
So, what do you think of the whole horror movie genre, being a bee queen?
I love it, of course. I grew up watching horror movies when my parents were going out for a company party or something, and they're like, "And don't you kids watch horror movies?" "Oh no, Mom, of course we won't." But of course we did, so we scared the pants off ourselves.
So were you in the generation of Hammer films or the black and white?
I really grew up with the Hammer horror movies, and I loved the beautiful women that were vampires and the great costumes they wore and the sets and things.
Yeah, the Hammer did have great costumes.
Oh, fabulous. And I thought, I want to do that. I want to be that.
Did you ever get to act with Christopher Lee?
No, unfortunately, I never did.
Peter Cushing?
No, they were more England. I was more America. I didn't get a chance to.
Yeah, because I know Christopher Lee has the world's record for having the most films overseas on both continents.
Wow.
In the Guinness Book of World Records.
But in my early career, I had small parts in big movies, and I got to work with John Landis on Three Amigos and Rob Reiner on Spinal Tap, and I was in Body Double with Brian De Palma.
Who were you in Body Double?
I worked a week on it, and if you watch the video, I'm in about 10 seconds. I'm in the scene in Georgia, Atlanta, and I play the bass player's girlfriend. But if you see the extended version, I get the chauffeur stoned, and he sings Frank Sinatra songs into a slice of pizza.
So, out of all the movies you've done to date, which is your favorite?
I think that I like Haunting Fear the most. It was with Jan Michael Vincent and Karen Black.
My dad went to school with Jan Michael Vincent.
No kidding.
Hanford, California.
Wow.
Small world, ain't it?
Yeah, it was in the early 90s, and I played a wife who was being slowly driven crazy by her husband, and Karen Black was my psychiatrist. Jan Michael Vincent was a cop who was trying to help me and save me. But it was a really fun movie, and I lived until the end credits, which I hadn't really done before.
So, what did you think of Dave Stevens' work, since you were married to him at one time?
Dave and I were married in the early 80s, and I modeled for a lot of his work, most of the Betty Page stuff, and a lot of other comic books like Aurora, Alien Worlds, and so on.
Rocketeer?
Yeah, Rocketeer.
Betty is you put Betty on the map, is what you can say.
Yeah, it was my body and Betty's face. And Dave and I had a wonderful romance, and before I came here to the ShockerFest, I met up with Dave's sister, Jennifer, and we had dinner, and she gave me a lot of modeling photos that David shot of me. So it's been an important trip for me in many ways.
So do you miss him since he passed away a year ago? Or were you guys kind of distant at that point?
We were married 30 years ago, and we had a 12-year relationship, but in recent years we had not been so close, and I wish it had been different. He's still my favorite artist, and judging by the photos I got back from Jennifer, perhaps I was one of his favorite models.
Well, I'm sorry if I hit a soft note or something,
That's okay. Life goes on, and it's really tragic that someone would die so young at age 52. But life is uncertain, and it really convinces me that you have to live life and enjoy it to the fullest, because you never know how long it's going to be.
Kind of like going to these, you meet different people and say, hey, you inspired me in one way.
Yeah, it's really important to get everything you can out of life, because life is so uncertain.
So did you do TV, any like Star Trek or something like that?
No, I never really got into television. I did a Tales from the Dark Side called Basham Malone, and I was in Square Pegs early on in my career. But I mostly did movies. I did small parts in big movies, and then I did big parts in small movies.
Roger Corman mainly?
Yeah, I started with Roger Corman in '81. I was in Slumber Party Massacre, and I was victim number 2 out of about 17.
So is that what your credit was, victim number 2?
No, well, maybe. They might have called me Brinke. But I started out in horror films, and I rapidly got pigeonholed. It's a glass ceiling where you can't break out of it. Once you start to do something, it's very hard to do something else. So I've continued to do horror films, and I've been in about 140 so far.
So which is, if you had to choose one project, which was your one overall favorite?
Well, as I said, I liked my role in Haunting Fair, but I did a movie recently called Demon Divas, and even though it was a lower budget movie, it seemed like a multi-million-dollar production. I had my own wardrobe person who tailor-made costumes for me. I had my own personal makeup artist. I play a demoness. I rip a girl's spine out. And
you never got to do that before, huh?
Well, you know, I've been bad people. I've killed people in a lot of ways, and I've been killed. But it was fun because I got to be beautiful and sexy and deadly.
Who is your one favorite actor you had to work with?
I liked working with David Carradine.
Kane from Kung Fu.
Yes. I played his wife, and I liked working with John Michael Vincent, and Karen Black was very quirky and fun. You know, and the whole thing with Rob Reiner and all the guys from Spinal Tap was amazing. It was wonderful.
So Rob Reiner would be your all-time favorite director?
Probably, yeah, I would say so.
Well, he has a lot of fun movies like The Princess Bride and stuff too.
And when they shot Spinal Tap, we shot about 50 hours of footage, which they had to edit down into an hour-and-a-half movie. And they had absolutely no idea if it was going to be successful or not. And I remember riding in an elevator with Rob Reiner, he and I alone, and he's holding his head in his hands saying, I don't know if this is going to work or not, I hope so. And it was wildly successful. I was happy to be a part of it.
Will you be doing this again next year?
Well, I hope to. I love coming up here to Modesto. It's wonderful. I get to ride the train and see my friends. Vernon Wells is here.
Is he here tonight, or is he going to be here tomorrow night?
He's here tonight. He was in Road Warrior. And there are people in costume, and they're showing lots of wonderful independent films. It's really an exciting scene.
Well, thank you.
My pleasure.